Thank you very much for joining us for another exciting edition of the Lunchtime Cafe here on Camnet TV. My name is Marco Kwakozi. Today is the Thursday edition and it is November the 9th. We have nothing but a fully packed show just for you. Remember, this is a program that has segments like the Forgotten Stories segment and also the Emerging Stories segment, and we are also going to be having some sports at the end of as we draw closer to the end of the program. We are going to talk a little about sports. So on the program today, we decided again to select some stories for you to refresh your memories in a segment that we call the Forgotten Stories segment, just to make sure that we take you back and refresh your memories as regards what used to happen in the country a few years ago, just to give you that refreshment. And also we are going to be looking at stories that are happening right now that are making the headlines, as our reporters are in the fields making sure that they bring us what we are going to be looking at 19:30 this evening in our main news. So we start with the Forgotten Stories segment, and we have picked quite a number of stories to show you as in what used to happen a few years ago. Let's have a look at this.
Patriotic Front members have continued to express disappointment at the manner in which some party members are disrespecting party leaders. Addressing the youths in Lusaka Monday when he sensitized them to register as voters in order for them to take part in the elections next year, Patriotic Front District Youth Chairman Clifford Walia says the party will not tolerate lawlessness, especially as the country heads towards a crucial time of elections. He says the behavior of Innocent Kalimanshi recently at the courts is uncalled for, urging all members to avoid such behavior.
So tatwa posesta bakutro kwati wonse katwafuma pano chira muntu okwale mbesesha okwalera ino timoni landapo ndombana mona kwati insere shafula ukwambo kula tukama leaders aba president wa sonta ukwambo kula tukama aba leaders aba president wa sonta ukula tukaba district ukula tukaba province ukula tuka aba SG ifyo fyena muno murusaka district as a district chairman, district chief chairman, Shafira Keresh, I'm not going to tolerate that. Why you muyamata innocent wali mutamfya alifa muchipani. Uyo innocent ale twanga buka fyo ruchero kura tukaba kampiongo. Abu ko ruchero kura tukafyo muntu ulionse. Bushamo ba youth mulasuminisho muntu kura tukaba muntu. Murusaka abantu ngabamba kura tukama litazi ngaba kopa belt ngabamba. Ngaba kopa belt ngabamba. Ngaba ba centro ngabamba. Ngaba nankani ngabamba. Sheshka ba chipa nicho.
Meanwhile, Mr. Walia has appealed to Party Secretary General Davis Mwila to facilitate a meeting for the youths to meet the party president Edgar Lungu.
Secretary General, bali tuwebo kwa watu wanatufoida kashtaka kumanana na wakateka. Please wa Secretary General turero mbakuri imwe. Chipwana wanu wiki, chilafai kwa muli wina mulungu tuwalamba. Mutu pele yo program baku tumane wakateka. Tuka bebe file chitika.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka. Nicholas Piri, a private citizen, in a letter dated 9th November 2020, has reported Petauke Central Member of Parliament Dora Silia for what he terms at contravention of Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012. Details of the report are that while in Eastern Province, Dora Silia, who is also Chief Government spokesperson, is alleged to have told some village headmen of Sinda District in Eastern Province to provide false information to public officers managing the social cash transfer program in order for them to become beneficiaries against the laydown procedure. The social cash transfer is a government program financed using public and donor funds to provide relief and social safety net for the most vulnerable individuals in some Zambian communities.
Imwe mkaenda kwa DC akampuziseni ya DC kutaka mkoshani ichi mwayankateti akampuzani ichi mwayankatelo olo munangu nyumba ya malata nkukamba kupenangu kuti yawe nilibe nyumba ya malata kuti mungenemo.
According to the complaint letter, Mr. Piri says the matter calls for investigation and possible prosecution.
The issue of impunity in this country, the culture of impunity where people break the law, people can do anything and no repercussions follow. And so you see it that Ms. Leah, when she went to Eastern Province, was publicly advising village headmen on how to defraud government by giving false information to public officers so that they could be beneficiaries on the social cash transfer. We think that her conduct is contrary to the provisions of the law, specifically the Anti-Corruption Act number 3 of 2012, and as such it needs to be investigated and possibly prosecuted. And that's why we have come here, so that we don't just complain on social media or indeed make press statements. We need to utilize the institutions of governance such as the ACC, such as the police, and for the case of Ms. Leah, we think that the ACC is the right place for her to be prosecuted and investigated. Surprisingly, State House also issued a statement through Mr. Isaac Chipampe to come to her defense. So we think we should not institutionalize impunity and start to defend it. But anyway, we'll wait and see what the ACC is going to say. They have received a report, they have acknowledged receipt of a report, and what remains now is the due process of investigations to happen, and then they'll tell us what the next steps will be.
Mr. Piri says if the Anti-Corruption Commission fails to take heed of the complaint, he will go to any lengths to ensure that accountability in these social protection services is upheld.
I recall that we did write an open letter to the President asking the President to relieve Ms. Leah of her duties because of her tribal sentiments, but also because of encouraging and abetting criminality. In an event that the President does not move, the ACC does not move, I think the general public is going to have a last say. And I want to say that this issue of impunity in Doras area will not rest at this. We'll do everything legally possible to put pressure on the system that there should be some sort of normalcy. So we still have a number of things lined up, and we'll see how it goes.
ACC was however unavailable to talk to the media by broadcast time. Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The most important thing is that, you can register anywhere in Zambia, but then you've got to bear in mind that, you see, you have to have the polling station. That is the most important, because during the poll the next year, you will want to go to the center where you're going to cast your vote.
So this is the card that will be used in 2021 general election. It's very different both in texture and in look. In texture, it's lighter than what we had, and it's deliberate by design. There are quite a number of aspects that have been taken into account when coming up with it. One might think, oh no, it's much lighter than the old one.
The Lusaka's Magistrate Court was on Tuesday morning, the 9th of November 2020, characterized with drama when National Democratic Congress leader Dr. Chimba Kambli acted as his own lawyer and cross-examined new Congress Party President Peter Chanda in a case he has been sued for defaming President Edgar Lungu. The opposition leader made his appearance before Magistrate Felix Kauma in relation to a matter he is accused of defaming President Edgar Lungu when he questioned his relationship with Vauden Findlay and alleged that the presidential plane was being used to carry drugs. This was his first appearance in court after his release from incarceration. Kambli, who acted as his own lawyer, asked Chanda if he uttered the statement as a fact or perception, and the witness said he uttered the words convincingly. As cross-examination continued, Magistrate Kauma urged Chanda to wait for questions and answers and not act as if it was a political platform to debate with each other. Kambuli asked Chanda what the role of an opposition was in a country, and the witness stated that it was to provide checks and balance. Kambuli further questioned Chanda if it was not a fact that Finlay was once detained for drugs during President Kaunda's time, and as an opposition he has the right to question the characters around the president. Chanda still insisted that Kambuli defamed the president. Earlier, Kambuli's lawyers, Joseph Akafumba, who is also his party vice president, informed the court that Keith Mwemba, Gilbert Piri, and Christopher Mundia, who had previously withdrawn from representing the accused, had resolved their problems and were back on record to take up the case and requested for an adjournment. However, the court granted the adjournment on a condition that the witness on stand be cross-examined. Mr. Kafumba, however, informed the court that he was not competent to cross-examine the witness, which led the accused to take the bold step to cross-examine the witness on his own. The matter has since been adjourned to tomorrow for continued trial. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
I would like to say that we are very, very disappointed with Vice President Inonge Mutukwawina, a woman, given a very wonderful privilege to be Vice President of the land. And yet it has become perpetual for her to give statements that are not untrue, that are not based on facts. The particular statement that I'm referring to today is for her saying that the PF administration, the PF government has never received any advice on how to handle the economy of our country. The economy which they have dragged into such a mess. We have no economy to talk about because of the debt that they have incurred on behalf of all of us. It is untrue for her to state that she has not received advice. And she calls it no documented advice. What do you mean no documented advice? Your Honor, Vice President Inonge, just admit that you have messed up, because the evidence of this is in Parliament. Our members of Parliament debate and they tell you how to go about it. They debate and tell you, oh, we told you right from the beginning that don't over-borrow. And if you have to borrow, borrow from multilateral or bilateral, not from an open market, not from private entities. You called Haka in the beta. Now today, you have the debt to deal with.
There was an outcry by the civil servants who were affected by the government's decision to recover the debt swap loans from their salaries for the months of September and October 2021.
Public service microfinance has appeared on the payslip. Now the question is, in what form are they appearing on the payslip?
We want to appeal to the government, even as it has stated that this is the government, the UPN government is the government of law, and that they should respect the collective agreement that has been signed with civil servants, so that the matter is settled once and for all.
While the affected civil servants have expressed their displeasure over how the new government has handled the debt swap initiative, government, on the other hand, promised that it was going to refund all civil servants that were affected by the deductions before their November salaries can be credited.
A listening government has already signed with the unions that the recoveries for the 2 months will be paid back.
Agriculture, Technology and Professional Staff Union of Zambia and the National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, have confirmed to Camnet News that government has credited back what was deducted from their members' salaries.
Yeah, I want to confirm that I've received reports from our members across the country that they have started receiving monies which were deducted in October month end by a public service microfinance company. we want to appreciate the government for keeping its position. We know that this is according to the agreement that was signed between the government and the labor movement, that these monies will be paid back before the November salaries are effective.
It has since appealed to government to engage the unions in matters that affect their members before any decision can be taken.
Going forth, we just want to appeal to the government to always involve the unions in the matters pertaining the employees, so that even us as the labor movement, we can represent our members prudently and intelligently.
For now, we will continue to monitor how the debt swap initiative will be tabled by the government going forward. Reporting for Camnet TV News.
7th Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has on many occasions indicated that he wants to govern by the rule of law. He has vowed zero tolerance to cadarism and implored the police to fulfill its mandate of protecting life and property as well as maintaining law and order. However, more needs to be done in markets and bus stations as political victimization have been experienced in the recent past. Some cases are currently before the courts of law, others are nursing injuries.
And Muliranduba pulled me or pushed me, saying I should not be talking to their commander as they had put it. So I was trying to engage them to say I did not follow them or was not talking to them. I started receiving punches, and then other cadres joined in saying no, do PUSA, do PF and everything.
And Foundation for Democratic Process FODEP Executive Director George Chimembe says the police must help the UPND administration in fulfilling its commitment to ensuring the rule of law.
These entities will wait for Plot 1 or State House to give directions, or Cabinet to give directions. The directions are already there. The law is already there. And, you know, there has been this political will that has been demonstrated by the Republican president that, look, you police, the police service, can you be professional? Can you be autonomous? Can you serve the interest of the people? You know, and it's up to the IG and his men to take that space, you know, that has now been opened up and given to him. And he shouldn't be waiting for State House, for orders from the minister and all that. I think they need to be more proactive in the way they tackle these issues.
On the other hand, the Lusaka City Council has been given the mandate to run bus stations, but the question that begs answers include, but not limited to, the following. Who manages some legal and illegal bus stations like the one at Stanley Bar, especially at night when the council workers are resting at home? What about the Kamwala bus station by downtown and the one behind Levy Mall, among many others? Mr. Chimembe reminds the local authority to be proactive and not reactive in curbing lawlessness.
I think the council should not be crying foul over poor funding, because if they just go to Intercity, you know, bus terminus, there's a lot of money there. They can collect that money. They go into the markets, you know, they will collect money there. They don't have to wait for instructions. They will just have to use the law, which is already there. They are proactive and they will start getting the revenues. Full stop.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Sanitation is more than just toilets. It includes the facilities, behaviors, and services that prevent diseases caused by contact with human waste. Several traders at the city market have raised concern over the discharge of waste by Zambian Oriental Investment Limited. The act has been ongoing for over a year, and the firm has been disposing waste into the drainage. The spillage, which is believed to have been coming from the manufacturing of a local drink called Chiwanto. Sadly, due to the same activities, drainage systems have been blocked. In an interview with Camnet News, the traders say the blockage in the drainage system will contribute to the number of diarrhea diseases which are already on the rise in the country.
Chichacheva panga balibe disposal kwinangu kwe kuyenda vima west vao vibwela kuno kweti 7 kweti tira operate ise tilipe kwinangu kweti tira operate ni place ya mene ino so ujawe apanga chiwantu kuja madam tipempa kuli boma kuti ilanganilepo ititandize uja muntu azibe way of disposal ivi bintu ve asili la vibwela kulise vitichita affect vinuka maningi
ngati bakangiwa batokemo mu because watika stagnation mu basungira bana
vinunka
every day tukirino but manzi kutuka no yayi
ero ya patingena mnensi zoti
sumati sabeva bwana
kirina but vinunka
boma chabe bwino but ebe baja government ichemushe but baja ndio wapanga mistake. Why?
The residents have since called on the local authority to inspect the place.
Nice. Makini ko drainage ulokumbuyo konse kuri doti party.
Senda
next time corona vifuba vimfini bantu wa matenda kolera.
Kuna stinga bana. Bakangwa business ja. Steko wende ko.
Ayoko kwina ngo boss.
It has got nowhere to go. It's getting stuck. And we have been getting the numbers from the hospitals which are saying typhoid is rising up in this community, and there is diarrhea which is still coming in, and the rain season is onset. So we want the authority, the health people, to look into this matter and to advise these people how to do to expose their things out, because there are a lot of people here and we are looking on the safety of people. So we appeal to the authority in charge of this to take full responsibility for the health of people. It is very costly for the government to start treating people, but it's better they...
Efforts to get a comment from the company proved futile by broadcast time.
City Council,
yes.
Because I have seen what is outside. I'm going straight to the Lusaka City Council and...
So show, listen, my boss is not around. Okay, let me call him, you can wait.
If you can give me your boss number.
Just give him your number, then he can call your boss, then your boss can be on the phone while on the news.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Those are some of the stories that we thought we could share with you, just to refresh your memories as regards where we have come from and what is happening in the world of news. So moving on, let's get into a segment that we call the Emerging Stories segment. Now on this particular segment, we give you stories that are happening right now as our reporters are in the field and giving us what they are working on. The first one says Governance and Development Advocates Zambia has noted with concern on how the sections of society have come out in condemning the Speaker of the National Assembly for suspending 19 members of Parliament from the opposition and independent MPs. Executive Director Elias Mlenga said the current state of the Parliament debates lacks merit and it does not represent the will of the people, thereby abrogates the orderliness in Parliament. Mr. Mlenga further noted that the matters to do with the opposition political parties are not a subject of National Assembly but party level, and wondered as to why the Speaker should be drawn in internal wrangles of political parties. Now the Speaker took he says the Speaker took a bold decision to suspend the erring parties on firm grounds in order to protect the integrity of Parliament, etiquette and uphold democratic principles. Let's have a look at this.
To state that some sections of society have taken to the street in condemning the Speaker of National Assembly, Nelly Muti, for having suspended 19 members of Parliament ranging from the opposition and independent members of parliament in parliament for a period of 30 days and others 7 days added. Notice that the Speaker has a duty to protect etiquette and the integrity of Parliament. It is the duty of the Speaker to take action in whichever way she feels possible in order to protect democracy and defend our constitution of this nation. I wish to call upon women and women organizations who are managing civil society organizations to voice out and support Nelly Muti for the bold decision she has taken so that there is orderliness and sanity in Parliament, unlike where we have a Parliament that does not debate according to the will of the people that sent them to Parliament.
Thank you very much. So that is one of the stories that we hope we can see during the 1930 menus this evening. Now, moving on, the Lusaka City Council, LCC, has noted with dismay the death of a 13-year-old girl who was mauled by 10 dogs at a named poultry farm in Lusaka. Now, the local authority is yet to establish whether the dogs involved in the matter are registered and vaccinated. Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the local authority will not condone reckless and negligence of dog owners in the city. She says according to the Control of Dogs Act Cap 247 of the laws of Zambia, it is not allowed to have more than 2 dogs at one household. So that is the story about the 13-year-old girl who was killed by 10 dogs at a named farm in Lusaka. Now, moving on, the Patriotic Front leadership in their continued engagement to protect democracy and the rule of law in Zambia met with the Council of Churches in Zambia. Now, the Patriotic Front began a mission to engage stakeholders to join hands in protecting democracy and constitutionalism. Now, the Patriotic Front, which is one of the biggest political parties in Zambia, has also in the recent past faced deregistration, and currently it's facing an action where they are having wrangles amongst themselves in the party. So that's another story there where the PF leadership was meeting with the Council of Churches in Zambia just to seek guidance as to what is happening in the country. So those are some of the stories that we had for you on the Emerging Stories segment. And now we get to look at some of the stories as regards the world of sports. But before we do that, let's take a short break.
Join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to war.
Hallelujah.
And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Okay, so now getting into sports. Now, yesterday there were quite a number of games that were played in the FAS Super League, and various teams registered various results. Let's get to hear from the Mutondo Stars coach, Zedi Saileti, whose team went down yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was a big game. You know, playing Power Dynamos, they've got a lot of experience, and we knew it's going to be hard. But I think when we started well. We played according to our plan, and I think the boys accounted themselves very well, because even if when we got a red card, 1 man down, we could still play our own game. We could still create a lot of chances, which I think we did well. But again, our goalkeeper also helped us. They should have scored us 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah, to be precise, it's 3 in a row. I think it's part of the game. We just need to psych the boys. We just need to keep on pushing, keep on working. We know today it was a big game, but coming from 2 losses and today a 3rd loss, I think it's worrisome, but that's our job. We just need to pick up the pieces and move on. Yeah, at halftime I spoke to my boys. I told them, because I could see the energy levels of Power. Even if they were leading 1-0, we were on par. So I thought we can still equalize. What are we losing? We are 1 down, so we just need to introduce the strikers. And I think we almost equalized, but unfortunately we conceded a 2nd goal. I think it's where we lost it.
So that's the Mutondo Stars coach Zedi Saileti's reaction after going down to Power Dynamos by 2-0. Other games that were played yesterday, of course, Konkola Blade went down to Nkana Red Devils by 2-1, and Zesco United beat Red Arrows by 1-0, and then Napsa and Trident drew a 0-0, whilst the Prisons Leopards beat Forest Rangers by 2-1. Another game played yesterday was Kansanshi, who beat Kabe Warriors by 2-0, and of course Zanaco went down to Green Buffaloes by 1-0. Now, another interesting result fixture. Muza recorded their first loss yesterday. They went down to Nkwazi by 2-1. Now, this is a very interesting game that was played at Imboela Stadium, because the 2nd goal that Nkwazi scored was marred with a lot of controversy and a lot of talking points as regards that game and that particular goal that Emmanuel Chabola scored for Nkwazi. Quite a lot. Let's get to hear from the Muza Football Club president Keith Mwemba as regards their loss yesterday to Nkwazi Football Club.
Because first of all, we have no bar in this country, and we saw clearly. I was seated with Mr. Adrian Kashara next to me, who is from Nkwazi, and I think Mr. Nyanguli were there. The corner was picked, and according to the information we got, is that the reason why the assistant referee had flagged up that there was an obstruction with the goalkeeper, and we all heard the whistle, and the referee disallowed the goal. Okay, then we saw obviously the officials, technical bench, and the players, they went to surround the referee. I was still discussing with Mr. Adrian Kashala on what could have happened there. And Mr. Kashala himself said, oh, we did not see what he said, he did not know exactly what happened. And I also told him I didn't see what happened, but I saw the assistant had flagged up. So the decision exactly, from now after the game, after consulting, we are told that there was an obstruction, they pushed on the goalkeeper, that's why the goal is disallowed. Okay, now, in a country where there's no video assistant referee and you have disallowed the goal, and disallowed the goal. Under what laws of the game has the referee decided to again change his mind after being surrounded by the opponents to again say it is a goal? So for me, I want to be educated because I also understand the laws of the game. I have studied the laws of the game. I just want to know, maybe I may be ignorant, I don't want to complain too much. It's water under the bridge. We'll be interested to know exactly. And probably even you guys from the media might want to know. I think I'm not exaggerating things. You must have also seen that the goal is disallowed. Am I right? The goal is disallowed. And in a country where there is no VAR, why again after the referee has been surrounded by the opponents, he changes the decision and awards the goal? I don't understand. I don't understand that. It's quite disappointing. But if there's a law in the laws of the game, the laws of the game, which maybe there's an amendment, which I may not be aware of, I would love to be educated. It's important to learn all the time. That is all I can say at the moment. But the bottom line, you also the goal is disallowed. And rightly or wrongly, then afterwards, he's surrounded by the opponents, and then he awards the goal. So I don't know. It's quite disappointing, really. Well, look, that is not for me. I think we have got the Chief Executive Officer. We have got our General Secretary, Mr. Joe Kapika. Obviously, that is his job. We'll look at that. But for me, if you ask for my opinion, I always want to move forward and look to the next game. But obviously, I won't interfere in the work of the administrators. For me, I will just go and talk to the boys and say, okay, it's water under the bridge. I don't think we deserve to lose. No team deserves to lose. Even Inquaz did not deserve to lose. Don't get me wrong. Even Inquaz did not deserve to lose. I think the second half was a balanced affair. I think a draw would have been a better result. So I think the administrators will do that. Yeah, but you see, look, for me, I always don't want to talk about referees. I think that has been my stance. I think you people from the media should also help us. For me, when you interview me, I think it's a job as journalists maybe to talk about referees and other people. For me, whether the ref has made a mistake, if the referee has made a mistake, I don't want to start blaming the referee or complaining, say, oh, the referee, this and that. That's not our job, really. I know it's painful when you lose a game, but you have to take it by the chin, move on and focus, stay on your lane, and focus on your job. So if there's a problem with the issue of referees, I think the authorities are the ones who have a duty to put the house in order. It is not for us at Moza to start talking about referees and start complaining. A referee, as I always say, is a human being. There is human, so he can sometimes maybe make a mistake. I would just be interested to be educated. In a country where there is no VAR, the goal is disallowed in full view of the spectators and you journalists. We saw that. Then we saw how.
So those are some of the reactions of the games that were played yesterday in the Zambia Super League. As you might be aware, Muza went down, registered their first loss of the season by 2-1 to Nkwazi, and the second goal was quite controversial after Nkwazi got the last goal in the dying minutes of that particular game through Emmanuel Chabola, and that is what the Muza president Keith Mwemba was reacting to as regards the decisions that were made by the referee after having said that there was an infringement, and then he reversed his decision and said the goal would stand. So on that sporting note, we come to the end of today's Lunchtime Cafe. Don't forget to join us again on Monday as we bring to you another educative and informative program. On behalf of the entire production crew, have a blessed afternoon.